Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another ear stretching video. So today obviously I'm going to be stretching my ears. It's been about 2 months since my last stretch and I'll get into a little bit about why I had to pause for a little bit, but today is going to be a little different because not only am I stretching my ears up a size, but I will be using a brand new dead stretching kit that I got, and I want to talk a little bit about the process of stretching because I never really covered that or talked about kind of how I've been doing it now that I switched over from tapers to dead stretching. And I definitely did a lot of research in the past couple of weeks and learned a lot more about this process that I wanted to share. If you had seen my last video, you would know that I already made the switch from tapers to a dead stretch kit. So essentially the difference between that is that a taper is a device that looks like this. Essentially there is a smaller end that goes into a larger end, and the ends are your current size and then the size that you're stretching up to. So you kind of stretch your ear all up at once, and then you put the jewelry in for the next size up, and you'll wear that for a couple weeks before doing the same thing again. Essentially you're stretching it all at once. In that moment, it's just a swift motion into your ear, and then you can wear the larger size jewelry and your ear will kind of just get used to that size jewelry. Dead stretching, on the other hand, you don't ever use a taper. What you do is just take the jewelry, and the jewelry that you wear is going to be a little bit weighted. So over time, and just with them being in your ears, it'll slowly weigh down on your lobes and naturally stretch them out a little bit over time. So it's not so much of that like swift, immediate stretch to your ear. It's a gradual, pain-free, just all around easier method to stretch your ears in my opinion, which is why I wanted to go this route. The current material I have in my ears is glass, but the ones that I'm switching over to is surgical steel. So I'm interested to see how that works. They feel a little bit more weighted in my hand when I'm holding them, at least. So I'm interested to see how much more they're able to weigh down my ears and make that process maybe go a little faster. I did have some issues, not so much of an issue, but more of a holdup than I had experienced in the past. This past month, up until this past month, I had been doing just monthly stretches and it went pretty easily. There was no pain, there was no issues. And then I switched over to dead stretching, and after a month I thought I would try to put the next size up in, and it just was not having it. My ears just weren't ready. It just seemed like more time was needed. So I'm hoping now that 2 months later, it's been 2 months since my last stretch, that they'll be able to go in all right, and I hope that moving over to the surgical steel will help a little bit. Another reason I think this kit is going to be super beneficial is that they come in half sizes. So I think a month ago, if I was to have this kit and I put it in my ears, I feel like I'd be able to at least go up to the half size and then make that jump to the next full gauge size a lot smoother. So if you haven't heard of Stretch It, they actually have an entire guide on their website detailing how to properly dead stretch, because there are so many different resources that you can go to online. I know before I found Stretch It, I was literally just looking up YouTube videos and I found a lot of conflicting things that were being said, and I just kind of felt like it was all over the place as to what I was getting myself into, and I was kind of just going to try it and see how it went. But after finding Stretch It, I think it's really helpful to have a guide that answers all of your questions all in one place. I will link this down below if you'd be interested in seeing it, because I think it's really helpful. It has information all about like keywords, like what a plug is, what a tunnel is, what are the differences, what's a taper. There are so many different resources on here, literally just starting from the vocabulary. It starts all the way from when you get your ears pierced, what size you should probably get your ears pierced at if you are planning on stretching them, how long you should probably wait before trying to start this process, and then of course the age-old question, which is how long should you wait between stretches. And I think it has one of the most like perfectly honest and real answers, and it says that it depends on the person, because some people might be ready to stretch up right away and be fine with it, and some people might have to wait a little bit longer. It just depends on your ears, it depends on your lobes. Their recommendation is to wait 2 months in between stretches just to be sure your ears are all healed up. One thing it says that I think is really important and something that stuck with me is that it said that the no pain, no gain does not apply to stretching your ears, and I could not agree with that more, because this should not be a painful process. If you are forcing something through your ear, if you're making yourself bleed, if you're having throbbing pain in your ears after it, you're probably going a little too fast because your body is telling you that something's wrong. It should be a pretty easy process. There should be no throbbing, there should be no bleeding. It should be pretty easy. So that's something that you're struggling with. I would probably definitely say to take a look at this ear stretching guide because it can help give you information that can just save the integrity of your ears. And I don't think tapers are bad at all. That's what I started off with. And in my mind, when I just started approaching ear stretching, that was honestly the method I assumed I would just do all the way up until the end. And then I actually found dead stretching in the process of researching all of this, and I realized I kind of wanted to make the switch to dead stretching once I reached a certain size. But either are totally acceptable. It's completely up to you. Stretch It actually also has taper kits on their website as well, so if dead stretching is not your thing, they do also have tapers on their website. So now I just want to talk a little bit about the process and how you actually go about doing it, because so frequently when I do these videos, I just do it and I don't think I've ever actually explained what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit about that now, and this is all information that I got off of the stretching guide from Stretch It. The first thing that is recommended is actually taking a shower or maybe a hot bath or just being in an environment where there is like steam, just because it's going to help kind of loosen up your ears a little bit, and it'll just help the process go a little bit more smoothly with the warmth of taking a shower or a bath. Next, of course, you're going to get your jewelry. When you get the kit, it's going to look like this, come in this little Stretch It Body Jewellery bag, and then they have all of the different sizes here in this bag, and they are all individually in little bags, which aren't these the cutest little bags ever, but they come separately in their bags, and each kit comes with one of each, one size of each. So if you are doing both of your ears, you would get 2 kits. So you could do it at the same time, or if you wanted to stagger it, you could just get one. They are all individually labeled, if you can see that, in their bags, but they also include a little card here, and right on the back, they have all the measurements. So you can just, I'll take it out and I'll show you. So you would just take it and put it up to the card, and that's how you can determine what size it actually is. Also on the side, there are the inches. So if you're 1/2 inch, an inch and a half, and then 2 inches is the whole length of the business card. If you're somebody who prefers to look at the gauge sizes and not the millimeters, there are areas here that say both. So if you need the conversion because you're not exactly sure what it is, there you go. So that's just a really good trick in case you lose these little bags for some reason and you don't know what size you're at, or you don't know what size one of the pieces of jewelry is. You can just use the little card that it comes with. And then next, you are going to take your jewelry out. I like to do one ear at a time just because it makes it easier. So I'll take one earring out and then I will massage it. So I actually have this jojoba oil, which is also from Stretch It. They carry just like 100% jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is good for so much. Really great for stretching, as well as helping keep your lobes moisturized, because you don't want your earlobes to get really dry. That's not anything we want. So using jojoba oil regularly will help to make sure that it's maintaining its moisture and you're gonna have healthy lobes. Every single night I will take them out and I will massage them with some type of oil. Jojoba oil is, again, really amazing to rehydrate the ear and make sure that you're like building up the tissue in your ears and just making sure that it's supple, and I know it really does help to massage your earlobes and get blood flowing to that area. Once you've massaged your ears for about 5 minutes, you can then put some of the jojoba oil on the jewelry, and then you're just going to gently push it in. Again, there shouldn't be much resistance, especially because they're half sizes up. There's a size like in between. So there really shouldn't be any resistance when it comes to dead stretching. But if there is, hold off. That might mean that it's just a little too soon, and you might want to wait a little bit before sizing up to the next one, because you really don't want to just force anything to your ear. So you just take it, push it gently through your ear, and then pop the O-ring on and you're all set. And you would just leave those in your ears for about 2 months. I totally forgot to tell you guys too, I have a coupon code. It is Melissa10. I'll put it right here on the screen. If you wanted to get 10% off, you can use my code, and it's Melissa, not Melissa, like my name. It's just Melissa. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll write it down there just so you can get 10% off if you want to try them out. All right, so I'm gonna hop into these now. So in the bags, they're separated from millimeters. So they have 1 through 5 millimeters and then 5.5 through 10 millimeters. I'm going to try to go up to the 3.5 today, which is the one that is in between the 3 millimeters and the 4 millimeters. Just because I think that'll be really helpful to utilize that in between size. If not, I'm definitely just going to put the 3s in and then let them stretch a little bit more because they are a lot heavier and they feel like they would do a little bit more to weigh my ears down. Oh yeah, it's definitely heavier, like significantly heavier. I don't have a scale to prove it and I wish I did, but it's significantly heavier, the surgical steel option. So here is the jojoba oil. I like that it has a little like pointed tip so it doesn't get everywhere. Because the other ones that I have, like the other oil that I have, is just one of those lids where you press down and then one side pops up. And it literally gets everywhere. It drips down the side. Like, this is such a better design. All right, so I'm gonna try the 3.5. It looks so much bigger than the other. I don't think it's gonna go through. It doesn't even feel like it's like going in it. I don't feel like the glass ones were weighted enough for my big lobes. I feel like I needed the surgical steel. Yeah, it's like not really even going in, which is crazy considering I was wearing these glass plugs for 2 months. 2 months, which again, everybody's ear stretches at different times and like different paces, but it's just so surprising to me that up until now, it was like 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, but my ears hate this size. They hate it so much. So I'm not gonna force it in my ear. I'm just gonna go and put the 3 millimeters in, and then I will see in a couple weeks if it's weighed down my ears enough to move up to the 3.5. But yeah, I'm struggling a lot with this particular size. Let me know if you stretch your ears, if you got stuck at this size, or if it was super easy, because I'm having the hardest time. Yeah, sorry guys. I was planning on doing a stretching video, but my ears just don't like this size, and that's fine. I'm just gonna stay at 3 millimeters for a little bit longer. I have massive lobes, if you guys haven't noticed. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, but. This one actually feels a little tighter than the glass one, and I could definitely already feel like a little bit more weight. It feels more weighted than this one. It looks bigger too, actually, but that's just because the flare is a little bigger on this side. Kind of like the way that looks. Like, it looks like I'm just wearing a really cool, like, stud. I feel like I'm at a point still where people don't even know that I have my ear stretched. They just think it's an ear piercing. But that will not be the case shortly. So here is this one. Again, wasn't able to size up, but I can already feel a difference in this, and I am very hopeful that in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to stretch up. But I'm just gonna keep trying. After I get out of the shower, I'll just try the 3.5, and then I will rush and grab my camera if it works. Here is this one, tiny little baby. I'm really loving this oil a lot. This ear feels so much bigger than this ear. I'm just gonna put some jojoba oil on here now and then just pop it in. That went in so easily, it didn't even feel like it was in. So I bet this one could go up to a 3.5. If I tried this one first, I probably would have gotten it up there because this one just went through so much quicker. So my right is right now the easier one. I'll see if that continues. So that is it for today's video. I'm excited to continue my journey with Stretch It Body Jewellery because, like I said, I think these half sizes are going to be so helpful, and I think this weight on my ears is just going to help get me past this little speed bump I have right now. Let me know if you've ever experienced an issue like this, if you've kind of been stuck at a size, because I'm in it right now. I mean, for some sizes, some people might say this is pretty typical. Again, like Stretch It says that 2 months is pretty standard to wait to stretch your ears, but me having my past of doing like every month because it was the smaller sizes, I was just so used to it going a lot faster. But I think as I'm getting up into kind of larger sizes, I think it's definitely going to take a little bit more time with the sizes, but that's why I think those half sizes are going to be extremely helpful. So I will link everything down below for Stretch It. If you are going to get a kit from them, make sure you use my code. Again, it's Melissa10. and check out their guide. Even if you're just considering stretching your ears at this point and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, I think it's really helpful to just check out their guide, because not only do they have information about dead stretching, which is what I'm doing, but they also have information on the taper method and also the taping method. So there's a lot of different resources on there. It can help you make a decision on what you think is going to be the best method for you. So again, I'll link everything below in case you were interested in looking into that. These are my ears. I'm still at 3mm or 8 gauge. Hopefully next time I'll move up to 3.5mm. That should be in the next couple of weeks, but I'll keep you guys updated on that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.